Yo, what's up, my people? What's up, world? It is Saturday, December 28th, and I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because with Him all things is possible. This No Ducks On episode is sponsored by Matchbout. Follow Matchbout, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Matchbout, the best sponsorship in the land. What's good, my people? Hope everybody's had a relaxed Saturday, cruising through the streets. Hope y'all out there getting to where you gotta go safe. We still coming from our Christmas vacations. Hope everybody had got home safe, and if you haven't got home and you're still on your vacation, wherever you're at, please enjoy yourselves. And when you depart, please get to where you're going safe. And remember, with Him, all things is possible. Today was a great Saturday, man. Great Saturday. Y'all, I'm telling you, I've had a lot of great Saturdays. Today was definitely something different for me. It was dope. Got to chill and build and network with people. You know me, y'all. I'm always big on networking. There's nothing more major than networking, especially when you can network with your people. Um, and you can learn different things. I'm saying so. That's the beautiful thing about it. Shout out to my girl Danya the Phoenix. I finally got to get up with her after I've been, posting stuff about her and all that, and finally got to meet her, and it was dope. And we're gonna come together. We're gonna do some amazing things. Y'all will see it. So just be on the lookout for that. But other than that, it was a blessed Saturday. But that's not why I really came on here to brag about the day I had. That was cool. Today is a special day, not because it's Saturday, not because it's December 28th, but today marks 40 years since probably one of the best breakdancing movies that ever came out. B Street, 40-year anniversary today. I should have been at the event, but of course I'm not. I'm kind of upset because that's where I would have loved to had been. 40 years, 40 years. So it was December 28th of 1984. 40 years, y'all. Ain't that crazy? Here it is, man. So we're going to get into that. Um, I may not touch on everything, but I'm gonna just basically touch on what it meant to me. So let's go ahead and go. Let's get into it. So for my newcomers, my regulars, everyone, welcome to the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go. So one of my favorite movies, and I've had a lot of favorite movies, coming up as a kid, right? B Street was also one of them. There's a lot others, but I didn't know much about no graffiti or no breakdancing or um, artwork. It's just anything, you know what I'm saying? But all I know is that I seen a movie where it was people who looked like me and Latinos, which I didn't know they were Latinos then because, like I said, I'm young. But I saw a movement. I can't say I knew it was a movement because I didn't. But it was something about it because I was always into dancing. I was always into dancing. I used to like to, break dance. It was something about it that I gravitated to it because it was something every day I got up and I had to watch it. We all had something in our world or in our life that we always used to have to watch before we went to bed. B Street was one of them. Um, and you talking about it wasn't probably until I got to what was it, maybe the late 80s, because I wasn't remember I was a baby, only 1 years old. So it's not like I watched it when I was 1 years old. We're talking about when I got 5, 6, 7 years old. I clearly remember watching at that time, and I think it was really the intro of how B Street started, because it gave that, I don't want to say rough and rugged, but it was like so boogie down, because it was being that it was a Bronx movie, and that was another thing that I had loved about it. But from the story they told, um, if you looked at it, everybody from Ramon to Kenny, like everybody that was, I mean, we could sit here and name all the people that was in it, but just all of them. Um, and then you had a lot of hip hop legends in that. I think it was Grandmaster Flash. You had Melly Mel. You had a scene with oh God, I forgot his name already. That's crazy. I forgot his name already. But anyway, Dougie Fresh slipped my mind for a second. You had a scene with Dougie Fresh in it where he wasn't. He was in there. You had the Treacherous Three. Um, you had. I mean, if you just looked at it, man, it was crazy. And mind you, I didn't know who none of these people were at the time. None of them. I didn't know anybody. You know what I'm saying? Until like later on. Um, sometimes I wish we can go back to those days, but unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. But watching B Street as I got older, and I appreciated it. It made me to be more proud to be from the Bronx than anything. It wasn't even just about being from New York. It made me proud to be from the Bronx. And we got to give it to our Latino brothers, because we're not gonna act like they didn't play a big role in that. Okay, we're not gonna act like the Latino community had nothing to do with B Street, and it was just all of the brothers. No, absolutely not. And I know I don't want to make it about that, because I'm tired of everybody going to the history of who started what, who gives a shit. Everybody played their part. Everybody just needs to shut up and stop the back and forth about who started what. But I give them their props, um, because who's to say if the movie would have been the same if they didn't have a part in it? So, which that was major. But it was, like I said, it was always something about B Street. It was just always the story that moved me. Um, Ramon being a great artist, you know, with the graffiti, and him trying to get his father to respect his work, couldn't get him to do it. And if there was a scene when he tells his father, "I don't just write little tags; I make those trains look beautiful," and he did. He made them look beautiful until there was a guy named Spick who came and messed that up. Yeah, he came and messed that up. But yeah, but it was for the most part, each and every one of them had a story, and they were trying to make it in something. You had Lee, Lee doing his thing with his crew, break dancing, you know. Oh man, come on. Last time we made $36. You know what I'm saying? He was getting his hustle on, doing his thing with his crew, you know, trying their best to stay out of trouble. Kenny on his DJing. Everybody had something that they were trying to figure out that they wanted to do. They were young kids trying to figure it out what it is that they wanted to do. And if you notice in that movie, there was really no violence until the end when Moan and Spit they have that fight and end up on the train tracks, and you see what happened from there. But that movie really wasn't about violence. It was just them having a lot of fun. That's what the movie was based off, having fun. And I think for me, that's why it was so easy for me to gravitate to that movie because that's what I'm always a firm believer on is having fun. Always. And there's not a day that I don't because you know anybody who needs to see B Street, you know, you could easily go on YouTube. You can see B Street because you know sometimes you know certain movies you had to pay for. I believe that's one of the movies. I mean, there's more, but I know for sure that's one of the movies you can go see for sure. Without having to pay for it, which is it's cool. B Street became a part of my childhood. It became a part of my teenage life. It became part of me even now as an adult, and I don't see no difference 20 years from now. I don't know what everybody who's around. I think Lee, you know, and whoever else is around at the time. God bless y'all, and thank you for the memories. You know, a lot of you guys, steady you trying to give these people their flowers. You always try to figure out what happened to them after they did this movie. It doesn't matter what they did after. Sometimes shit happens. Um, some of y'all have to do 20 or 30 movies just to get noticed in what y'all did. A lot of them just did B Street and that was it. You could throw up in their face all you want to if that's all you did. It's okay. You had to do 20 movies. That person just did one. You know, I don't too much focus on, you know, what is somebody doing now or why we haven't seen them in a whole bunch of movies. If they're wishing to share that information, then that's cool because things happen, life happens. So, you know, it's all good at the end of the day. But yeah, it was you started moving around the Bronx and moved around New York City, you see the whole breaking and you know, and it became it became almost as popular as you see people playing basketball on the courts. It became popular when the parks will be crowded because they were doing shows. Um, and I can't speak about any other part of the world, but I know in New York it would go down. I remember plenty of times as a child in my neighborhood, uh, witnessing that. It was something that just the world probably didn't even know what was gonna go on with it, and then here it is. You know, they had a lot of movies that were hip hop. It might not have been breaking, but you had Wild Style. You had a couple movies that was sneaking up. That was, you know, hip hop was slowly easing their way in, slowly. And then here it is in '84. You get a movie called Beat Street. You can't let the streets beat you. You had to beat the streets. And that's what a lot of them were doing, trying to beat the streets. It was hard then. It's hard then. It's even harder now to try to beat the streets. But yeah, so them coming in, it was just something where you knew the world was changing. You didn't necessarily know where hip hop was going, but you knew it was taking a change. And it it was going all over too. It wasn't just in New York. I think out in LA, out in California, they were getting it out there. I don't know about any other part of the world, but I know for sure out there, they were getting it. And it was working. And I'm gonna come back to speak about the other movie, the other breakdance movie. I'm gonna be back to get into it about that. But I had a lot of favorite scenes in Beat Street, man. Like I don't think there's ever a scene where I go, I don't like it. This ain't my scene. It's whack. I don't think there's ever been a scene that I saw like that where I was just wasn't interested. I think the one that I love the most is what you see on my thumbnail when all of them meet in the train station, and then just the song they had for that. It made sense. It was appropriate. Every like I think that scene, every scene that was my favorite was probably the dancing scene. But even when they met at the Roxy's and they had that infamous battle, but the train station takes it over because in the train station there wasn't no judges, just wasn't like what I mean. We're gonna get this going, man. Let's. It was just epic, man, and they wasn't trying to kill each other. They could have easily fought it out if they wanted to. But that's how they handled it. They handled it that way, and it worked. And then you seen at the end they came together. Some of them came together, and I thought that was dope. After Ramon died, I thought that was real dope that they all came and made peace. But yeah, that scene, uh, the scene with Ramon and Spit, um, the part where Lee left the house and showed up at the party. Kenny didn't want him there, and he came and he did his thing. At the end, when Ramon died, and they uh they wanted to put a celebration, and his man was like, "Yo, what did he say to him? They're not gonna get together to do a funeral." And he's like, "It's not a funeral; it's a celebration." They were celebrating their friend Ramon, and how the dancers and everybody came together, choir and all that. I said, if that's not, man, that's a beautiful way to send your friend off and represent him. Nowadays, now when you go, everybody's gonna drink and smoke and pop pills and do whatever, as if all that is gonna bring you back. Is to them that eases the pain. But there was so many episodes. I'm not episodes. There were so many moments in that Beat Street movie that made you laugh. Could have made you sad. Could have made you think. So many. Beat Street will forever be legendary. And if you were around at that time, rather if you were graduating middle school, high school, going off to college, if you were around at that time, you know what it did for you. You might have been met your wife or boyfriend or whatever during that time when it came out. You remember what the city felt like. you remember what it was like. So it definitely left back a lot of memories, and it made you forget just being proud of being black. It made me, and I'm sure it made a lot of other my black and Latinos, our black and brown, made us feel good about being New Yorkers and being from the Bronx, because that's where the movie was based at, the Bronx. So when I started looking at some of the videos, and when I started looking at certain neighborhoods that they were showing in the movie, and then I go back to those neighborhoods today, or in the last past years, I went back to the neighborhoods. I go, wow, totally different for what it looked like, at that time. Because at that time, that's what it really looked like. Um, it's I would love to see more movies being made like that. Hey, I would even like them. Usually I tell them to leave movies alone because you can't do movies over. I don't know if I would ever want to see a B Street being done over. I don't know if you can just do another B Street over. Yeah, anything might be possible, but I can't just see you doing another B Street over. That'll be that would just be a little that would be a little too much. I remember because of B Street, I used to want to spray paint. I get the can. I used to want to spray. It didn't matter to me because just watching that's what it made me want to do. And I knew it wasn't right, but I said, hell, they doing it, especially with the trains. Oh man, I want to go over there and do that too. But I know, man, if you go do that, you're done. So I don't never say that that movie was a bad influence because we already had a lot of shit going on anyway. I think, in my opinion, B Street was a distraction for what was going on. It was going on at the time, but as far as the violence, it showed you that with the hip hop and everything that's going on, all this murdering and killing, this ain't really part of our, they would B Street wasn't showing you that shit was Disneyland because it wasn't. Look where everybody was living. Like Kenny and Lee didn't have no, roaches coming out the cereal box and nothing like that. But still, look at the neighborhoods that they were living in. Longwood, Intervale, that area. I believe that's what it was, Longwood, Intervale. So all that it was real. Smash my like button, y'all, man. Please smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, help me get them likes up. 433. Help me get them up to 500, man. Let's make that happen, man. Like, share, subscribe, and hit with the cash app, man. If it's $1, if it's $2, fine. I'm cool with that. Let's keep this channel. Let's keep this channel going. Let's keep it alive. Let's keep it breathing. Things like this people need to hear. There was a lot of parents who might have just been becoming parents at this time. So this needs to be heard. But like I said, it was always a different feel. Every time I put B Street on, I could put it on every day and I didn't get tired of it because when it started, it's always that it had that just had that it had that energy about it where it just made you want to go and go dance. It made you just, you know what I mean? It was just the best times. It was some good times where you learned what fun was. and you learn what hard times were. Out of all the fun they had when Ramon died, you know, hey, everybody was in a moment. But after that, okay, he's gone. We're gonna get right back to having fun and honoring him. We're gonna get right back to it, and they got right back to it. I'm actually thinking about going to watch it tonight. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Sitting there and watch it tonight. Um, since I'm already not, you know what I mean? It would make sense to go glance at it. It's the 40th anniversary, which is it's crazy because you know when you think about stuff you go through, you like, man, you don't even know you'll be here this long to celebrate it, man. It's like, damn, I'm actually here 39 years later to celebrate it. Oh, excuse me, 49, 40, 41 years. 41 years to say it. That's crazy. Yeah, Omar, what's up? Oh yeah, classic. So for me to be here 41 years later to talk about it, what it did for me. It's not about how much I know about the movie and who directed it and who's all the stars' names in it and oh, you know what I mean? I told you what I just told you. I'm just giving a story on what B Street did for me, what it made me feel like. And anywhere I go when I announce B Street, it ain't nobody that's like, what? Huh? Unless you're a youngin'. And even some youngins might know if they taught their history. Um, but for what it did for me in my household, and like I said, how it still affects me to this day at 41 years old. And like I said, tonight they're out, I think in Manhattan somewhere, Bronx maybe. I think they're out and they celebrate. I'm upset that I'm not there, but it's okay. It's okay. Like I said earlier, it's okay. But that's what um it meant for me. And every like I said, every part that I just went by and I told you that I like was parts that I know because I've seen the movie. When Treacherous 3, when they doing the Christmas party. Another part that's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was funny. If y'all ain't never seen B Street, man, y'all gonna have to get with the program, man. Stop worrying about what's going on in these dumbass these reality TV shows. Stop watching these dumb game shows and stop being a part of these dumbass boxing conversations. It's time to get some feel good back in our lives. We're coming into 2025, and we're about to bring it in the same way we ended the last 2 3 years of our lives. Let's get some of that feel good. If you ain't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and check B Street out, man. You won't be disappointed. It's dope. Um, it's a part of our history. It's a part of our household. It's a part of our lives, and it's just never going to change. Smash that like button, y'all. Get these likes up. Come on, get these likes up. Don't come through lurking and peeking and whispering. You're gonna do all that. You might as well smash the like button while you over here. Do yourself a favor. That's um for me. That's major. It's major for me. If I could have a big poster up in my house of B Street, I would. I'm gonna work on getting that too. Some way, somehow, I'm gonna get that because, like I said, it's all part of history. I'm not gonna be on here too long, too, y'all. Yesterday, I should have been on. See, yesterday, I should have been on longer than I was supposed to when I was talking about looking back at the fights of for this year, but I'll continue on Monday. Got to make sure I get my time in. That's why I'm coming back here, y'all. Trying to stay as active as I can on here. So please, bear with me. But I remember sitting my sons down, I think, and they were younger, and showing them B Street, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy. This is something that I'm showing them a movie that I grew up watching, a movie that came out when I was only like 1 years old. So that's crazy how I'm able to show them this. It's it's just amazing because you don't think that you'll, despite how great the movie is, you don't think you'll live through all that. You don't think you'll be here to even, you know what I'm saying, to even say that, hey, I saw it or my kids saw it. So that feeling is just phenomenal. It's a feeling that it kind of takes over because you're so emotional about how the world is. You just you don't picture yourself being here for these moments. But in all reality, you're here for this. So to see it, 41 years later on the 40th anniversary is crazy. It's crazy. It deserves a round of applause. B Street will be, like I said, it'll always be something where we can't shy away from it because as soon as we think about breakdancing or doing any other thing, that's gonna come to our heads. Besides breaking, because we got to get breaking their props. Because I'm not going to act like I never watched Turbo in Ozone, but we gonna get to that. Oh, we gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that movie. Please believe that. If it was up to me right now, I'll be doing the B Street versus, but we gonna keep it chill. We gonna keep it real chill because that Turbo and Ozone was some bad boys. And rest in peace to, I believe it's Ozone. Yeah, 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 Omar. B Street, man, and then Breaking, boy. At that time, I don't know about no other movies as far as Breaking, but I think far as people breaking, right? Not the movie Breaking, but as far as people doing that, I think B Street and Breaking was the only two that was out, and they both '80s movies, and they both did great. I think the thing is, Breaking probably went on to do just a little better, maybe because Breaking. I think Breaking it was a 1, 2. I think it was a 1 and 2 for Breaking. So I think it was Breaking 1 and Breaking 2. If we could have saw a B Street 2, who knows? But that still doesn't take away how great B Street was and how great Breaking is too. Because I gotta give them they respect because as just as much as I was in love with B Street, I fell more in love with Breaking, and that was all the way on the West Coast. Shouts to like I said, shouts to Turbo and rest in peace to Ozone. Um, it's yeah, but that's it for me, y'all. On that. It wasn't gonna take me 2 hours to drag out what I needed to say or how I felt, and 'cause some people always want to try to they want to get all deep, 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 deep. I just sat here and told you. It's not like I told you. I grew up on the movie and I liked it and I liked the graffiti and that's it. Good night, y'all. No, I just went through I went through parts of the movie. I just told you how when Lee showed up at the party and his brother was kind of mad at him because remember in the beginning what he tell him? I'm going with you, Kenny. Kenny ignoring him. How come I can't go with you, Kenny? You know what I'm saying? Might meet a female. I might not want to come back here. You know what I'm saying, listen, little buddy. If I take you, I might have to bring you back. I might not come back. Might meet me a female. Yeah. Hmm. Think I just recited all that? That was my movie. Still is my movie. It's a great movie, man. Great, 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 great. And like I said, it would always and forever, not to keep repeating it, but just for people that don't know, it would always be a part of our history. Yeah, but well, oh yeah, I said Wild Style, Omar. I said it earlier. I said before B Street. I said before that it was Wild Style. I said, and then later on, you started to see movies like you see. Really, if you really want to get technical, and I might be wrong for this, but who knows? If you look at it, Wild Style birthed movies like B Street and Breaking. So yeah, I mentioned Wild Style earlier. A lot of people don't know about that neither, but it's okay. But it birthed those movies. You know what I mean? Which is like I said, it was great. And shouts it even in Wild Style, we had our black and brown. So we had our brothers, and we had a we had our Latino brothers in there too. Like I said, they played a big role in that. Y'all don't have to sit up here and argue anymore about who started this and who started that. Y'all idiots are just find any reason to crash out and argue. Oh, the black people started those. Black people started this, and Latinos started it. Hey, the Latinos, they were just as much as part of it as we were. And what would a movie been if we didn't see Kenny and Ramon? If Ramon wasn't Latino, BC, what up? What it do? It helped because it showed that blacks and Latinos have always been in poverty. We always been there. Oh my bad. No, it's all right. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Oh, I was just letting them know earlier about the Wild Style. How after that, B Street came and then Breaking came. So we no longer have to argue, ladies and gentlemen, about who started what. It was the Latinos. No, Latinos did this. The blacks did this. Who gives a hell? Who gives a damn? Who cares? Because in that movie, it showed that black people and the Latinos were going through the same thing, living in the same neighborhood. Nobody was living better than anybody. And everybody had the same ideas, trying to figure out how to make it out, trying to do better than what they did before. Whether it was DJing, breaking, graffiti on the train, trying to be a manager, whatever it was, everybody was looking for a way out. So it's just that simple. But that's what B Street did for me as a kid. That's what it did for me. And I'm hoping 40 more years from now, I'm here to talk about it. I'm hoping because I'm sure in 40 years from now, everything I'm saying now, I'm still not going to forget it 40 years from now. Because I'll be able to sit down 40 years from now and still glance at it. And hopefully, still remember the parts of the movies as I did today. What's up, y'all? Smash that like button on your way in. Smash that like button. Get these likes up, man. Like, share, subscribe. Help me get them subscribers up, man. Y'all hit that cash app. Um, so this is just a little history, man. People want to know more about the movie and you haven't seen it, or somebody that not seen it in a while and forgot some parts of the movie, I suggest tonight would be the night that you go glance at it. It's on YouTube, B Street. I think even breaking, but this is B Street. This is B Street time. What I'm saying is they're on YouTube, free, free. Go glance at it. That's all you got to do. It's been on YouTube and it's there. It's there. Spit, yeah, Spit. You know what I mean? He was another major character where it was like you didn't see him, but you saw him because every time you did something nice, here he came. Remember, nobody couldn't see his face, but then when you finally got to see his face, it was like wow. And that guy, I think he's still the guy who played him is still alive, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's still alive. Yeah, BC. As I got older, like I said, that became a part of my life. That movie, and it made dancing fun. And you would just like that time when you went to those kind of parties, you didn't really have to worry about too much going on. See, but even in the party when Lee danced and then his crew was doing their thing, then Rocksteady they come in. See how that got. Rocksteady came in, they almost got into it. You know what I'm saying? Then dude stepped in the middle with the beer can and he ripped it, which that was crazy. He ripped the beer can or whatever, started chewing. That was sick. I still look at that part today and be like, that dude is nuts. There's so many reasons to sit back and watch that movie. Might be boring to some. That's cool. It's all right. But that movie brings you some feel good. It brings some feel good. Because for me, it did. Um, it always made me in the dancing mood, even when I wasn't in the dancing mood. And I hope a lot of the guys and the people who cast were good. I know Lee's still around. They always showing Lee. Lee still just looks like Lee, but the only difference is Lee is older now. But Lee still looks like Lee, and I think Lee still be breaking. I think he still be breaking. Now Lee was a kid then. I don't know. Lee's got to be. I don't know. Lee's got to be probably 50, maybe. I wouldn't say that he was any older than that, but he might be. I don't know. Lee might be over that. Might be a little older than that. I think Lee probably was no more than about 14, 15 in that movie, maybe 16. I could be overdoing it, right? So that actually would probably make Lee older than what he is. But shout outs to him. He's in the 60s? Damn. Lee's in his 60s and he's still out here on his. That's crazy. Lee's still out here breaking on his neck. Probably 60, 65. Damn. So BC, what so that made him what? Like what that make him like 14, 16 at the time, 84? Damn. Damn, boy, he still be out here breakdancing and that shit crazy, man. Shouts to Lee, man. I hope I get to meet that dude one day. What year was B Street? B Street was in '84. Coco Tina, what's up? He's 54. I knew he had to be like 50. Yeah, I knew he had to be like 50. I didn't know if he was older than that. Like, yeah, 54. Yeah, see? So he was like 14, maybe. Okay, 53 is not bad. See, I knew because I figured at the time he was like 14, 15. Evening, Coco. No, today makes the 40th year anniversary for B Street. Yeah, Beach Street is the 40-year anniversary today. And I'm like, you know what? Why not talk about that? Not just because I don't want to talk about boxing. It's because I was a fan. I'm big fan of Beach Street. Grew up on it. Um, grew up on it, man. So this was the perfect day to talk about it because today makes 40 years. December 28th of 1984. Underrated. What's up, my guy? Y'all help me get the likes up. Smash that like button. Yeah, B Street was in '84. I know, right? I was 1 years old. Shh. Ain't that something? Wow. I didn't really get to start watching B Street until I was about 5, 6 years old. So probably like 88, 89 is when I first started getting a glance at it. And the older I got, the more I fell in love with it. What up, underrated? I was 7. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It was some time, but that movie, man, that movie always had me on chill. Because I knew when I got up in the morning, now you got to remember at that time they had VCRs. I used to take the tapes, push it in the VCR. You know, you have your the name of whatever the movie that you got, whatever type of tape you got the name on it. Oh my, I was 9. Oh wow, cool. Oh wow, cool. Saw it when it came out with my mom and my older brother. Yeah, and that the tape had when you had the tapes of the movies, you put the name on it. I knew I had different tapes, but I knew B Street when I saw it because it was written on the tape. So I knew what tape to throw in. I knew what tape to throw in. I'm like, yeah, buddy, this is B Street. And I would sit there, and sometimes I'll get up and try to do what I see them do. Uh, because excuse me, I always wanted to do it. Oh, we used to tag. She said we used to tag. Man, listen, B Street changed a lot of lives, man. It was a lot of lives, and it was a great show. It was great. It was great. It was great to be a part of. 18. Damn, underrated. You were damn near a grown ass man. Sheesh. Sheesh. Wow. Underrated said he was. Underrated said he was 18. My man was 18 with 2 houses in the car and a lot of fur. All that, man. Underrated was that guy back in '84. But yeah, man. That's pretty much how that went down, man. Shouts to everybody on B Street. I don't know if they're alive or I know Lee is, but everybody who's was around to make that happen. I hope y'all still around and God bless y'all. And if you're not, God bless your soul, man. You know, I'm happy for that the movie still brings some it brings still brings a breath of fresh air to life and people still want to see it and wherever they at tonight for the reunion. I hope it goes well and they get out of there safe and get on back home safe. You know what I mean? Shouts to everybody. Yeah, Coco Tina, man, your man underrated, man. He got you know he put the age out there, so I had to say that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And shouts to all those movies. Wild Style, B Street, Breaking. Shouts to all of them because at some point, um, everybody opened the door for somebody, and that's the great thing about it. Nobody came and opened the door themselves. You know, somebody had to open the door for somebody else. So that was the great thing. Great thing about it. Oh, what's this? Yeah, y'all know if I'm then y'all know if I'm up here talking about it, you gotta know. All right, must either be a fan of this or how does he know about this, man? Man, crazy. It was no way in the world I wasn't going to talk about this. I was supposed to originally been live at 7:15, but getting in the time that I got in because I was at the event today, I was like, yeah, nah, it's not gonna happen right now. So yeah, we need, yeah, yeah, you need help at times, man. You need help at the times. At least, like I said, this conversation is great because there's gonna be a time where you gotta these kids gotta know their history. Some, like I said, is not important, and then there's others. It's like they want to know. So it's all good any way any way you look at it. Underrated. What up? Hold on, underrated. Jesus Christ, it's hot. Get you up here. Okay. I want to make sure. I'm sorry, I was sending a link out. Underrated. If you need the link, it's in your DM. Yeah. So there you have it. Congratulations, B Street. 40 years. And it just shows you how strong hip hop is too. It's like 40 years later, man. When you were looking at it like hip hop is gonna be dead, it's gonna be gone, they're gonna sweep it under the carpet because breakdancing and pop locking is just part of it's just as part it's just as much as part of hip hop as rap. So you can't look over that. You just can't. You have to put some type of respect on it, and we had to accept it in the hip hop community. It started it was there early. We had to. It was already there, and it will forever live on. Um, you got people who, like I said, they try to put a twist to how all of it got started and who's responsible for what, who played what role. At the end of the day, none of that shit matters. None of it matters. When you really think about it, none of it matters. We're not gonna argue all day about some shit that doesn't matter. I mean, doesn't. Underrated. The number one grinder, the best kept secret on social media, my Brooklyn brother. What's up?
What's going on, Bronx fam? How you?
I ain't doing that. I'm about to get up and start breakdancing in a minute, so you got to pardon me.
Okay. I ain't doing that. Too old. Yeah, that's good stuff for me. Now, but I remember when it first came out. At that time, that they, only New York was really promoting. It was not really promoted nationally until some old. I mean, I said some. I said hip hop legends had to really push the movie because it was that time hip hop was like very, how they say about hip hop. They didn't respect hip hop at that time as a genre of music,
Okay.
of popular music. At that time they were still fighting, and still, like I said, the legends had to fight to really push that movie. Because they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, they rapping, the graffiti and stuff." That was part of hip hop.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that graffiti came out like back in the '80s. No, hip hop came. I mean, graffiti was out even back in the, like, when it really came out in '73.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they think of Beast Street. Oh, they were just popping. No, it was a culture. It was built. It was a culture. It was building, because people have to understand. Even like people who was doing soul music, they was and classic R&B. They was sticking up their nose of hip hop at the time.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
was not really, they didn't want to push because they feel that their music was original. But see, I come
Yeah.
from that time too, but music is music, you know,
Yeah.
and that, I had to understand hip hop was part of me too.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Oh yeah. Ain't no doubt about that. And this is what I was trying to explain to people when they were getting a couple weeks ago, and they still do it now. I think about who started hip hop. I said, who gives a shit about that? In New York City, our Latino brothers played a very big role in these movies. If you go down, if you look at Wild Style, you look at B Street, you look at, even when you look at Breaking, there was some Latino brothers in that too. So, we have to push our feelings to the side and start pushing facts in front of the class, because it's facts that Latinos had a lot to do with the hip hop community, and we can't act like, because we want to take the credit for every damn thing, that we gonna disown them.
right.
And you can't do that because they played a very big role. And we
Yeah.
all came from the same struggle. We all came from the same community. It wasn't no, because you're black, you're gonna live worse than I am, and because I'm Puerto Rican, I'm gonna live like I live in Puerto Rico. Nah, bro. We came from that area where it was pretty damn rough. But yeah, I mean, but that's why I'd be like, you know what? It is what it is, and people are gonna chatter about whatever it is that they want to chat about, because they have nothing else better to do. But
But I would say this, brother, as a young man, I'm calling me a young man that's seeing hip hop started, right, for the
yeah,
beginning in the Bronx. You know what I mean? And I remember, it was a let me see, it was a group, it was a gang named Spades, and it was very popular in New York City, especially the Bronx.
yeah,
And they was around, like hip hop too, and we don't talk about them because I remember, my late father knew some people was down with the group, down with the gang of Spades, and now people thought they was like a bad gang. No, they was a gang, love music. I mean, like, they had to, like, defend themselves. They defend themselves, but we don't talk about them. And I know the Bronx they represented, but we need to talk about them too. And mostly they was like some mostly was black, but it was some Puerto Ricans at the time too. But they identified hip hop and and they protected it. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of them. So we gonna talk about that. We gotta talk, but we gotta definitely gotta talk about that too. I would like to talk about that in the near future. Time permits. If I do some more digging
yeah,
and really talk about it, because we don't talk about it. But I can understand that there are some people that have a problem with certain people saying, like now you got oh man, what's that guy that used to be down in Terror Squad? Oh, Cuban Links.
oh yeah, he gets on my fucking nerves because
Yeah, and I'm talking about Fat Joe and
I
all
feel
that, and
that's
I
all
feel that.
his
Huh?
content. I don't care what people say about Fat Joe, and people say you're gonna say this because you're a fan. Let me tell you something. Between Cuban Links and Damon Dash, their shows are based off talking about people that they used to be cool with. And that shit is annoying because if you look at every time you see them on something, it's based on the same shit. Like real talk. And people go, if I see it, well, I'm exposing people, but sometimes you exposing something from 20 some years ago, you're gonna keep doing that. Like your whole career is based off talking about another man. And I never could understand that because if I got to talk about that man that much, then maybe I need to go see that man because maybe it's something that it ain't gonna be right. It ain't gonna be right. I can't sit here from Monday to Friday every day talking about somebody I used to be cool with. Eventually, like, what are we doing? I'm not gonna get no content or for keep talking about it. You know what I mean? So when I see them do it in particular, it just irritates me. Now I'm at a point I done got them off my YouTube because I just be like, I can't. Y'all just it's the same shit with y'all every time. It's not entertaining no more. You know what I mean? Like you got
Yeah.
like when this was going on, I'm a kid when all this is going on with this
Yeah,
all these
now
back and
you
forth
talking
beats.
right, and this is what I'm saying, bro. You say 20 years, right? And that's true. Let some of this conversation was we pushing like 30 years. Now I know what you talking about is going on 20 years of
Yeah.
social media, but add on the 10 years to that, we talking about 30 years.
I
For what?
mean, I bet you, and I'm not saying it like I'm the only one in America. I guarantee you, there was probably a few people who didn't know today was the 40th anniversary for B Street. There was only a small portion. If the radios didn't talk about it, which every radio in New York City should have talked about it,
Nah.
it should. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, there's a few people who didn't know about it, and I'm sitting there in the house, and I didn't know until yesterday. So it's not like I've been new, but when I seen it come up on my social media, I was like, oh shit, you know what? I need something to talk about. This is perfect. And why not? Because I grew up watching that. So this is perfect for me to go on my live and talk about. Why not? Well, I'm not gonna talk about Devin and fucking Ryan all goddamn day. I'm not gonna do that. This is perfect. Paying homage to a movie that it did a lot for people. Wild Style, B Street, Breaking. A lot of those movies did a lot for people, man. It did a lot. It put it for some people. It put them in a great position.
Yeah, in a
Now, I
great.
don't know. I don't know what they did after that, but they put people in a great position, and it was a great look because what people don't fail to realize is that breaking and popping, graffiti is all a part of hip hop. It's not about what color started it. Was it Latinos or was it black? What's the freaking difference? We all was in the same community. We all did it together.
Yeah.
These dudes you see coming now that claim that they back then, like I'm like, y'all minds are bugged because for some of y'all to talk the way y'all talk and talk about because back no, you don't know what are y'all talking about. It shouldn't even be no argument or no discussion about it. Hey, it was a Latino. The Latinos and the brothers came together. Oh, we was already in the same neighborhood. If you go look at some of the pictures, even Wild Style, look at Wild Style. Look at that whole part where they all facing each other and they all battling.
Yeah, yeah, and also, brother, people got to understand at the time. Now, hip hop at that time was 11 years old, but I'm talking about mainstream. It was not in mainstream yet because I'm talking about mainstream. Mainstream. I'm talking music mainstream at that time. Did not want to acknowledge hip hop at all.
No,
So I want people to understand that. So when that movie came out, that movie was almost boycotted. I mean, not almost, but I mean, not boycott. I'm sorry. That movie was almost not was not going to be in the movies.
B Street that is.
Yes,
So they were trying to. Well, if you can underrate it, which I'm glad we're talking about this, I didn't even know. What were some of the reasons for trying to freeze it?
ghetto, out of touch. Why they break dancing? That is not art form. They disrespecting the ones in the past, and it was a lot. It was a lot of
Wait a minute, but I
insecurity.
don't. But what I don't get is how in the hell were they disrespecting anybody when those guys that was in there dancing were actually dancers? Those
But
guys
but
that's in the B Street, like both sides, the B Street crew and Steady Rock, whatever they were called, that was actually they danced.
and see and I that's what they were saying. And let people know about this. Now, if you go back to Soul Train, I'm talking about disco. I'm talking about when disco little by little was ending. What do you think these guys? What do you think they was doing in Soul Train? And shout out to the late great Don Canedius.
Yeah,
He was
shout
one of
down.
those. He was one of those opposed hip hop. I told people to go on YouTube. I want you to go on YouTube, pull up Curtis Blow and and Don Canedius on Soul Train, and see how Don Canedius trying to embarrass Curtis Blow. I believe that's back in 81, 80, 81, 82, something like that. But for y'all pull it up, you should see the face of Curtis Blow, the great Curtis Blow look. And that's what the attitude was back then of they call like the caretakers of music.
Um,
And then yeah, so
for me, just my opinion, movies like Wild Style and B Street and Breaking did a lot. It did a lot, and it opened the doors. Because I'll be honest with you, it's not even about how old or how young hip hop was at the time. Nobody never thought hip hop would go so long.
right.
If you would take graffiti out, pop locking and breaking, what the hell would you how you gonna call it hip hop? Because people hip hop just think that it's just rapping. But no, I keep telling people the graffiti, the breaking, all that plays a role in it, man. All of that plays a role. If that would have never existed, hip hop would have been died. Would have been died. And even though hip hop is like to me today now is kind of, but we still hanging in there because graffiti still exists, even though you can't. It still exists, regardless if these guys are getting on the train to do it. Graffiti it still exists. Pop locking still exists. Breaking, they still break. You can still come to Times Square and see them break. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that's been a part of the culture. and it's not going anywhere. But all that about who started it first, yeah, it was the blacks, it was the Latinos. If y'all don't shut y'all crying asses up, everybody played their part. Everybody that was in B Street wasn't just black. We ain't gonna act like we didn't see no Latinos in B Street. We're not gonna act like we didn't see no Latinos in Wild Style. We're not gonna act like we didn't see no Latinos in Breaking. What are
And
we talking
also,
about, people?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
And also, a lot of people better understand is when B Street came out. Let's understand. I want people to understand these. Even I'm talking about before then, it was not a lot of sampling of music in the past. B Street, when it came out, it opened the door of sampling too. Beats in the '60s, even the '70s, '60s, '70s, even some of the '50s. They was sampling some beats of old jazz.
Yeah.
And so B Street had open doors of sampling too. I'm going to talk about that too. That if you really listen to it, where they got that beat from? And so now I'm talking about the jazz players, like I said, 30, 40 years before that, they started to make money.
Yeah.
Then you got James Brown started to make money. You got like people like music of sounds of Philadelphia, Motown, sax. Like people don't know. The late great Isaac Hayes, when he producing songs for Sax Records, I'm talking about before he went solo. After that, we already know what he did, but they start sampling his stuff that he produced.
Yeah.
So some of them was talking. Some of them was talking. They were hypocrites. But even there are some that even embrace it too, because they said it's music. So
Yeah. Of course, of Latin, so it's part of dancing in Tampa, but they saying blacks created the rap. I mean, to me, it ain't about who created what. We all played our role in it. You know what I'm saying? That's where it gets petty when they start. The blacks created the rap and the Latinos did everything else. At the end of the day, we all played a role in it. You know what I'm saying? We all played a role in it. That's all I care about. I don't care if I wouldn't care who started rap. We all played a role in it. We all grew up in the same communities. A lot of our parents was on welfare. Like, yeah, what I'm saying? So my thing is when they start having these arguments and these debates about that, I'm like, man, y'all dudes will find anything to make out of a conversation. You never heard them argue about this in the 90s. At least I've never heard it. Maybe because social media wasn't big like that. Maybe these arguments they might have been having back then, but we never probably heard of it because it wasn't on social media. Now you put some on social media, it's like, oh, come on, bro. Are we really arguing about this? Shouldn't we all just be glad how far hip hop has came? Because we've been through some drastic shit in the last 30 years of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? From Biggie, the Pop, the Freaky Taj. You know what I'm saying? We lost a lot of people, man.
and that was close in the night. That was back to back in the '90s.
Come on, man.
Think about
Come on, man. Jesus Christ, man. So all that shouldn't even matter about who started what. That's like saying who started the East Coast West Coast beef. It don't even matter. Two of our hip hop icons lost their lives. Does it matter who started it? It don't even matter. Because look where it went. We can only be glad that we're still here and hip hop is still a part of our life. Now we might not listen to all the music that's out today. Yeah, Scholar Rock. Yeah, Scholar Rock was yeah, and
now.
they killed him
Now I
they killed
remember
him. They killed him in my old neighborhood.
which one is
And
talking about.
DJ, Karis one DJ. They when they killed
Yeah,
him, they killed him in the High Bridge section of the Bronx.
yeah.
I was living in High Bridge in '88. I was a baby, but I was living there at the time when they killed him. So you know what I mean? And how
Got
he
La
got
Rock.
killed. I mean, how he got killed was nobody walked up on him and shot him, but he was in the car. And the story's crazy. It was something with D Nice, but these guys went on the roof and started shooting down at the car. He happened to be the bullets happened to hit him while he's in the back seat. I mean, it's crazy, but rest in peace, DJ Scholar Rock. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just glad that hip hop is still here. I'm glad because when I get off here, man, I'm gonna go watch me some B Street. I'm gonna go enjoy life. I'm bringing my New Year in breakdancing, right? I think everybody should bring New Year in breakdancing, not the physical part, but breakdancing in your mind. Because God damn it, every time that you can bring a New Year in, you got something to pop lock, break dance, do the stinky leg. You got something to celebrate.
And also B Street had when the movie came out, it calmed the streets down too.
Um, I'm sure it did, and that's just why I said it brought some kind
Yeah.
of. I think I said it earlier. It brought some kind of comfort. Because at the time, we know what the streets was like in '84. I might not know because I wasn't walking around, but I didn't have to walk around. You look at these videos, you hear the stories, you see what it was like. This shit was a war zone. You know,
Yeah,
underrated.
fucking war
You were
zone,
older.
man.
You were older. You were older. You lived in Brooklyn, so Brooklyn at that time was way worse than the Bronx.
Yeah, let me tell you, you can't even take the bus and get off a certain stop if somebody know you.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
talking
So,
about, we ain't talking the train city
but you
bus.
know
Yeah.
what kills me though? It's funny how you said they wanted to not let these three come out, but they never had a problem with having a movie with people murdering each other. Like, I always wondered, did they try to ever boycott King of New York or New Jack City?
Nope. Nah.
So how do you boycott something that was bringing happiness and joy? If you notice, there was never no murders. I lived under that J. Yeah, if you notice, there was never no murders in B Street until the end when Ramon and Spit had to fight. And because they was on the train tracks and they hit that third rail. Other than that, there was no killings in that movie. Nobody pulled any weapons out. Nobody pulled no guns out. You dealt with a guy who loved DJing. He had a brother who loved dancing. They had a crew. They loved battling the other crew because the other crew thought they was better than him. You had a guy who loved to do graffiti on the trains. You had a girl who loved to dance. You understand what I'm saying? You had a single mother raising two black kids. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, what was bad about it? Nothing. This is why B Street, Wild Style, Breaking, these movies are gonna go live on. They've been around this long. We talking about 40 years today with B Street. Damn it. You couldn't have asked me 20 years ago or 25 years ago that I would be here to be celebrating 40 years of B Street. I might have looked at you like, man, I ain't thinking about no freaking 40 years from now, man. What the fuck am I thinking about that for, bro? Don't care nothing about that. Really?
And you know what? And B Street was a low budget movie, but overnight it made their money back because people was really asking to show it around the country.
If you took B Street right now and you put it on one of those, you know how when they watch movies outside, you'll have people that'll come watch it. I wouldn't do it because too many idiots. Depends on where the movie's being shown at. Too many idiots to come and mess that up. But people are gonna come because you always got at least one movie or maybe five movies that give you that feel good. B Street gives you that feel good where I don't care. It ain't about if you know how to break dance, pop lock, none of that bull. It don't matter. It brings you some feel good. It just makes you feel like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And it made you be, and first of all, it made you proud to be from New York. I know for me, it made me proud to be from the Bronx.
Yeah.
It made me super proud to be from that, man. And I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to them dudes. Shout out to everybody who lived. If anybody from that movie is still alive, which I know Lee is, I don't really know too many about the rest of them. But if you know, I ain't heard nothing negative about them. So if they're all around, hey, God bless them, man. Shouts to Melly Mel. Shouts to Kumo D, Grandmaster Flash, all those dudes who played in, and there was a lot more people I didn't get to. I think Cool Herc. Shouts to him. These are all these. Now, come on, man. These are all these people that was in the movie. I dare y'all to tell me I ain't never watched the movies. You crazy? You think these are people I just made up?
And also B Street. I'm glad B Street came out at that time because a lot of people did not know. They knew the Bronx that created in the Bronx, but they don't know the real significance why it was important back in '73. And B Street helped people to really learn about hip hop back like 11 years before that.
Um, when I go to that side of the Bronx where B Street was actually shot, it's crazy because sometimes you know when you look around it, they didn't totally change that. In the last couple of years, they've been changing that neighborhood. But when I always look around, I go, "Damn, it's crazy." Because when they start showing the neighborhood in the movie and the trains, you come to that place now, it's like, wow, it's amazing. I wish that the 40th anniversary wasn't in December. I wish it would have been in the summer, so they could have went back to that neighborhood and did something. I don't do block parties, but if there was a B Street block party, I sure would have pulled up for that.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, underrated.
Yeah,
You and Coco Tina would have been in New York. I'd have been like, y'all gotta pull up for this. Gotta pull up for this. This is epic. But you know, it is what it is. December 28th is 1984 is already marked, man. It's already marked, and like I said, man, I know tonight I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch me. I'm definitely gonna watch some B Street to tonight though, man. But what is it? Let me ask you something underrated. When that came out, um, you know how when they come out with commercials for movies and they've been doing it for years, um, was there ever a commercial for B Street advertising it?
nah, at first it wasn't. No.
So when did you first get a glance? Did you hear from the streets? Was it on the radio at the time, or was it just word of mouth that hey,
Well,
there's a movie that
I
they're about
tell
to
you,
do for B
well,
Street?
well, well. How I heard about it, I had family used to live in the Bronx, and they
Okay.
was talking about it. So what happened one day? I just got on the train, and for them, and I start seeing like the merch of B Street. I
Oh,
went to Fordham.
BC said posters. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Posters.
posters. I see merch. I first seen it on Fordham. Then I went on the other side with I see Bedford Park, near Lehman College. Then the Bronx really was really showing it, but then again, like I said again, Main Street. I'm talking music media was trying not to even put the merch out until there are some got the money up and really put the merch. Cause the
I,
merch, cause really when they start putting the merch out, that helped B Street a lot too.
I was
Especially
gonna ask you. I want to ask you about that, and I was gonna ask BC why he's on here. Was the posters was because they didn't have enough money to put the commercial to advertise it as a to let people know? Was that the reason why they had the posters? Because you know you got to have money to do all that. You know, trying to advertise it and put it out. Was it did that have something to do with it?
yeah, it had a little something to do with it, yes.
But even to get those posters, that still costs money.
Yeah, it costs money.
You know what I mean? So imagine you have to go around not just to the Bronx, but Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, putting posters up.
Yeah, because they was giving out posters. Like I remember that they was actually giving out posters, and they said, "You from Brooklyn?" I said, "Yeah, you from Brooklyn. You don't mind you take something back to Brooklyn? You don't have to put it up, and all the show and stuff." And I said, "Yeah." And so I had like 5 posters. And I brought it back to Brooklyn. I said, "Yeah, we're beefy." I said, "Yeah, yeah, look, it's coming
Yeah.
out." And so that helped a lot. That we have to be our own. We have to promote.
Um.
Really, us as a people, we have to promote. We have to promote. We have to promote it because, like I said, mainstream media. Sorry, I mean, not sorry, but the legend. Some disc jockeys did not want to push B Street
Um.
until the
Was it?
money
Was it?
started coming in,
Was
and
it?
that's when, like, yeah.
Was it? Besides it being a race thing of saying blacks and Latinos come together, was it because of it becoming successful is something that they might have feared, or was it just, hey man, this is a bad idea. We don't like where we what are y'all doing? Like who's gonna pay to see a bunch of idiots dancing on their heads?
It was like it was fear. I talk for me.
Yeah,
It was fear because again, I gotta repeat this. The ones who were I'm talking about some that make classic R&B like in the '60s, they become legends. In the '80s, they feel that why this music happening. It was something. To me, it was for me. I can talk for me. It was very disappointing because if you look back in the '60s, right, and even the '70s, we were dancing something like that. But when breakdancing came out, everybody they just dance on their heads popping up. Ain't nothing really happened. But when it was happening so fast within a few years. I'm talking about in the beginning of the '80s. I'm talking about the beginning of the '80s and going to '84 when B Street came out. It was like wow, and it was like some still. It was like within that time, hip hop went to the next level of dancing. As you know, that's when they start having dance groups in New York. They had to go different clubs. You got people understand. B Street helped a whole lot because now the dancers was getting paid money. At that time, they wasn't getting paid all that money.
and you heard what Lee said. Ma, we made $36.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, $36 at that time for them dancing was a lot. It might not be shit today. That was a lot. Yeah, man. But you know what? They couldn't stop it. Underrated. They couldn't stop it. And this is the reason why I said we should be happy and proud that hip hop has been around, what, 50, 51 years now?
Mhm.
After them 51 years, no, it's 50 years, I think, this year, right? 50 years this year. After the 50 years, we're celebrating 40 for B Street. Come on. So hip hop was only around for how long before 51, right? All right, I said it right there. 51. Come on. We're celebrating 40 years of B Street. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And they opened the doors for other dance movies to come out. If you look at it, even with these, you see them in these college movies where they step in and doing all. It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a
Mhm.
lot, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's just great, man. And hey, one more for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? One more for hip hop, man. We did it. That's why I be like, the color doesn't matter. Shout out to my Latino brothers for being a part of history. Shouts to all of us. Shouts to all of us. You know, we all hold hands in this. And we have to just make sure that people don't forget the history of this. Because people will slowly forget, getting caught up in who started this shit first. We don't want people to lose sight of that. We can't
Yeah,
teach these kids history if we on here arguing like a bunch of idiots, or like a bunch of eighth graders.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It really doesn't matter. Our thing is, we wanted to keep it. We want to keep it going. And even when we're gone, we hope that hip hop is still be here.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? For the next generation, and hopefully they carry it the right way. But before we can worry about that, we have to continue to do our part. And
yeah.
you know, it is what it is. But I'm sure that time in '84 had to be crazy because underrated. You're 18. You're young. You're young. You're exploring the world. So at that time, I know it was probably crazy for you.
Personally, it was crazy for me because I see some of my friends did not know music like I did, right?
Yeah,
They know hip hop, but I'm talking about music before then, and we used to have these. Sometimes I'm talking about the ones that I just got to know. I ain't talking about the ones
yeah,
before that. The one before that, we was hanging out. We always had these conversations, but the ones they was like, man, they break dances. Yo, this hip hop, man. This here to stay. This is I
yeah,
was telling them about this back to '81. This is I was like 15. So
yeah,
and so people like, I don't know what is you talking about? I said, okay. I said, yeah, I said, yeah, let me explain. Them dances used to come out to the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. You know what they said? Oh, they ain't gonna happen. Look what happened.
look what
It-
happened.
Look what happened. It was there. And so I'm just saying like this. I said, watch out. I said, why? I said, give it a few years. Said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm looking like maybe I get 20, maybe out, but it came out before I was 20. It came out at 18. And I said, you think it's gonna be a movie? Yeah, it's gonna be a movie. I said, but yeah, like I said, I can't talk to you like that because y'all don't know. I said, y'all not looking at the political aspect of it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm told. I told her I said you gotta look at the old heads. You don't want that to happen because they feel their music was pro and they feel out. But so they said, man, then also I was talking about people that older than me and stuff, and they didn't understand like why you. I said y'all understand that I was with hip hop. So I was 7, so I had a great appreciation of it.
yeah,
So for me,
yeah,
so for me, so for me, so I said for me personally, I'm on it because I know about soul music, classic R&B, even Latino R&B. That I think I did a Latino R&B like years back. All that was happening, and let me explain. Let me tell people this too. Latino, even B Street was doing some samples of Latino hip hop back in the late '60s, going to the early '70s. That helped
yeah,
that helped bring appreciate Latino hip hop. I see back in like 14, 15 years before that. So for me personally, B Street did a whole. I said for me, I can't talk for anybody. Did for me a whole lot. It like the conversations I was having and the answers and when I was giving people the answers. B Street was answering my questions.
yeah.
They was like, yeah, yeah, that brother knows what he talking about. And so
Yeah.
it was some people they didn't want to understand. But I was telling them, I said, look, this is a phenomenon. You need to pay attention to it and everything. If you know about music and dancing, if you know history of music, you need to pay attention to it. It's going. They say, yeah, yeah, well, but man, you crazy and stuff. I said, well, I'm just letting you know right now. I'm seeing something happening here, and you need to pay attention to it. And that's like when I was like 15. It's back 81 because they were doing that in 81, but they was not getting paid.
Yeah.
It was like in the background of hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
back hip hop is all about lyrics, turntables and all that, battling and stuff. That's what's happening then.
Yeah.
So that was the forefront. And so Rappers Delight, all that. That was in the forefront. Breakdancing back then, they was like little by little by little was working their way in being part of hip hop family.
Yeah.
And so back to 84, it had to happen at that time.
Yeah. 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 It's like I said, it's the history and knowing what people went through, what they fought for, what they believed in. So hip hop can still last today. A lot of our brothers and sisters, and I will conclude the ladies on this because they also played a part in it too.
They play a big part, yes.
They played a big part, and our Latino sisters and our African American sisters played a big part in this. And a lot of people have made sacrifices for hip hop to still carry on. This is why I don't like when I see hip hop as being disrespected today by the people that's in it. But that's another story.
And also,
Um,
BC helps introduce women breakdancing too.
yeah,
That even they just happened. No, they were doing their thing even back then, before the.
there's a video right now on Instagram that always pops up on the storyline with this Indian. I don't know. I can't call it Indian. She probably black. She got this Felicia Rashad looking face, but this lady's pop locking. You could tell she was young. She might have been a teenager. She was pop locking, and the way she was pop lock, I mean, the way she was doing it was crazy. And I'm like, I said, "Oh, baby girl, nasty." But every time I see that video come up on Instagram, I'm like, "Oh my God, she's killing it." But just to see that when the women got involved, oh, it was over. It was really over because they always had that women can't do it, but the men can. Shit, the hell they could. You had women that break dance better than dudes. They was pop locking better than dudes. They earned their spot in this just as much as the fellas.
And you know what? And let me say this though too. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna like why I say this. Even it was women was saying R&B, and they became legends. They didn't
Yeah,
even respect the women was breakdancing either. That they had to be checked too. But that was just a few. That was just a few was doing that. It was not phenomenal
yeah,
like the men was. But it was some women were jealous. They ain't wanted it too. But they had understood that
yeah,
expressing themselves. And at that time, you know, women's rights was going to the next level. And
yeah,
so they expressed themselves in music too. And so at that time, I'm telling y'all what I know, what I see. So so we had to pay respect for them too because they paid the way too. like these old
Yeah,
ladies dancing and stuff like that. You know, oh look at all the mobile, but they never really talk about the Latino women and African American women, young women back then paved the way. They always forget about that. No, you cannot forget about it because they paved the way, bro.
they too busy into this male chauvinist shit trying to argue about who started what, and you're missing the whole shit. And this is the reason why when we see the younger generation do it, we call them lost and confused. But some of us is lost and confused because at any time there should not be no argument about who started what. If you know the history, if you got to argue about it, or if you got to explain yourself, then maybe you don't know the history as much as you thought. Especially if you can convince me that, hey, I was around back at that time. Well, I don't care if you was back around at that time, but if you were around at that time and you was at the parties and you was a part of it, I don't care if you was a drug dealer. I don't care if you was a nerd. I don't care who you was. You know the history. You ain't got to go out your way to explain it. There should never be a time when people are on here on podcasts is crashing out and doing all this silly shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's no need for that. It's no need for that because if you know, just like they say, if you know, you know. You don't have to go out of your way to explain something that should be understood already. You shouldn't have to do it. And we got to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? We got to, so we have to go on these podcasts and these shows to get our point across. You don't have to explain what's understood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what it is. And I'm gonna keep saying this out to my Latino brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to everybody. We had a couple white kids that was involved in it. They might
Yep.
have not helped start it, but guess what? When you look at these movies and some of these videos, and you look at Soul Train, a lot of them kids, them urban kids, suburban kids, whatever you want to call them, were in those videos. They was a part of it just as much as far as partying and having fun. So who really cares if it's a black, white, Latino thing? Hip hop has been around 51 years. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
also
around 40, I've been around 41 for those 50, like for those, you know what I'm saying? So it's a
yeah.
beautiful thing.
And also there are some Chinese and Japanese were part of it at that time. And then you when they went back today, they were trailblazers.
Come
Understand
on.
that the parents did not want them to do not want them just to accept hip hop.
You got these battles that they have now where people be doing their own dancing. If you look at the different nationalities from Japanese to you might have a white boy, you might have a Mexican, it don't even matter. Hip hop, this is what it did. This is what it did, and I love to see it. I don't look at it and go, man, why the hell these dudes is up here? They ain't black, they ain't Latino. Why they up here? Hey, they don't. Man, listen, I don't trip. I love to see it because it also shows the growth and how far hip hop has come. So why the hell are we crashing out on these podcasts arguing about who started what? What makes me think is that you're trying to convince somebody that you know something and you really don't. Because if you did, we ain't got to keep crashing out like that. If there's an idiot that assuming that he knows and he don't know, because sometimes people say, yo, let me tell you something underrated. Sometimes people say shit to get a reaction out of people.
Hmm.
And sometimes you can't be that stupid that you don't know who started what in the world, unless you just wasn't paying attention to what was going on. Some people do a lot of stuff and say a lot of stuff to get a reaction. And they know, hey, if I say this or if I do this, I can cause a lot of controversy. This is why I be like, I ignore people. This is why I don't go on a lot of people's shows. This is why you'll never see me conversate with a lot of these idiots that you see out here on these YouTube streets. Because I always said a lot of them are here to cause confusion. They're here to be a distraction, a disturbance. Like Jada Chris said in the Dipset battle, they're here to cause a distraction. People are here to cause a distraction, man. We know who started the hip hop. We know who's responsible. And we give everybody their flowers, from the breakers to the pop lockers to everybody, to the rappers, hell, to the bouncers, to the dudes that was bouncers back then. Shit, shout outs to them. to the club owners back then.
Hmm.
The person who ran the Roxy back then. Shout outs
Hmm.
to them. I don't know if they're alive, but shout outs to them. We ain't got time to argue about who started what, man. Get the hell out of here. Make it make sense. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to entertain that kind of behavior. I got 15 more minutes, man. I'm gonna make my second hour. Peace, Josh. Saying this, what up, man? What's going on? Um, but besides that, underrated. What was your memories of B Street? What was your memories of B Street, and what was you doing? What was underrated's life? What was your life like around the time in '84 when B Street hit the streets?
Well, I'm not gonna say that wasn't all that good because at that time it wasn't. But me and my late father, I think he could say that we was started to get along. At the time, I was going through a lot of stuff, but when B Street came out, it brought a light, you know,
Yeah,
to me personally. And so, at the time, I'm gonna tell you, at that time in the '80s was crazy because at that time, it was a color. It was like if you dark skin, like if you dark skin, light skin, people did not like you. You shouldn't date anybody that is. Well, it was a lot of dumbness was out there, and I was part of the dumbness. And but what B Street has shown for me that hip hop was ready to be global.
mm,
But mainstream media again try to hold it back until I say maybe almost a decade later. That's where it start going global. But
yeah,
B Street was part of that. It was part of that movie that helped it, and also it put hip hop in the mirror. Look, okay, we did this and we did that, but horrible. What about B Street now? Because at
yeah,
that time, they did not want that movie to be part of hip hop culture.
yeah,
They just want to feel just a dancing phenomenon. Oh, from back in the days. No, 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 no. B Street is hip hop,
yes,
and we people have to understand. Just like there did many dances came out even before then. When you say, "Oh, that's not for classic R&B," how you could say that? You got the Latin hustle and the hustle. That's part of R&B and Latin and all that. Why you gonna say it's not part? It is. It's part of the culture.
yes,
Same thing as this. This part of the culture. This like I could give you a record. They used to play a lot. There was this brother named Eddie Drennan in his orchestra. He did a song, Let's Do the Latin Hustle, back in 75. Now,
mm,
why I say I bring that up? Because it played a significant role back in 9 years later on in 84. Because if you hear the beats, you hear the congos, you hear all of that. And I believe Eddie Drennan was from New York too. So I told people go back and listen to Latin Hustle. Yo, understand what I'm saying. But they even they was playing that song, and that song plays for me. I say for me plays a significant role. The connection of that song with B Street and the dance
yeah,
that I got to show Eddie Drennan some respect for that because and so B Street for me was transcendent. That was a transcendent movie for me because it helped bridge the gap of the
yeah,
old hip hop with the hip hop back then, and also bring other genres of music together that some people have forgot about. Like I go back, I said of Latin R&B. Latin R&B came out in New York back in the late '60s, going into the mid '70s, but they forget about the time it was great music back then. But they helped bring that part, and I was happy for that. And also, B Street helped create their own music in hip hop at that time too.
Yeah, because the way B Street starts off the intro
Hmm.
is sick.
Yeah,
It goes, you know, like beat, beat, beat street, and I'm like the way it just starts, and then it shows them break dancing, and it show the way they just got it started, and then every song they played in that movie was just like, and then it had the part where Ramon and is moving into his new apartment, him and his lady, and they got the Spanish music they playing at the time, and I'm just like, it just gave you a real forget a real Bronx feel. It gave you a real New York feel.
yeah.
But that's what it is when you're living in the Black and Latino community. It gives you that. It gave you that feel. But man, listen, man, I loved everything about it, man. It was that movie did a lot for me, as far as me just enjoying it. You know what I mean? And that movie can never get old to me.
Wow.
It never gets old to me. And if I'm around 40 years from now, and I'm 80 and I'm still able to sit and watch B Street, I'm okay with it, man. But just to sit here and say 40 years of it is crazy. That's crazy. That is actually something that surprises the hell out of me. And I remember, I think Coco Tina has said, wait a minute, Coco Tina messed me up, right? Because I believe she said she was 9 when that came out.
Yeah,
Wow. Coco Tina is a youngin.
yeah.
She out here youngin it. All right, 9 years old. That's cool. It's a and look, to still be here today, it's a it's a blessing. I think they were doing something in New York today for them. They were telling people to get tickets and all, and I wish I could have got a ticket because I would have been at the event. I really would have, but I don't know if they were doing it in Manhattan or if they were doing it in the Bronx. I'm upset. Just like they did something for Last Dragon. They did something for Last Dragon, and I didn't even do a live for that. I was upset that I didn't because Last Dragon was another one of my great movies.
Yeah, Last
Shout to
Dragon played a significant role in hip hop too. Also,
yeah,
mixed
shout to
martial arts, especially
yeah.
the first people of color too.
Oh, listen, they was listen. They was getting down in that. They were break dancing in that. At the end, they were doing it.
Break dancing that
They
too. Yeah,
yeah, they was doing a lot of that. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think those movies came out too far from each other. I think Last Dragon was what year? 87, was it? 86? Might have been earlier than that. I gotta think. I gotta look that up. That's a good question.
I think it was
But
85, 86, something like that.
I don't think those movies came out. The movies didn't come out too far from each other.
No, it wasn't.
They didn't come, which it was great at the time. We had a lot of man. We have done a lot of great things. Our people have accomplished a lot of great things, man. We always are not gonna be liked. People are not gonna always approve of what we do. But let me tell you something. We have constantly uh went out of our way to be great. And we don't see too much of that today. I mean, we see it today. We still great today. We now we're just finding ways to be great. Before the platform was just right there for you. Now people are finding ways to be great. Like, what we do on here in the social media, we're great at what we do.
Yeah,
Great.
and also too, let's not forget about Run DMC too. They play a
Of course,
significant role too.
of course. You know what? I just thought about something too. We're gonna get together. We're gonna do something. And I don't think that when I do it, I don't think when I do it, it should have to be February because we always wait to February for Black History Month. To me, Black History Month is every month. If you ask me, we always waiting until January. I mean, excuse me, we always waiting to February to do something, and I don't think we should have to wait that long. But me and you, we're gonna get together. I'm gonna tell you about what it is we're gonna do, which I think is gonna be dope.
All right.
I think it'll be something dope, and we need to do it. So, and it just brings back we got to start bringing back these type of topics because it's much needed because people slowly forget. And when you bring these movies up, it's like, oh shit. But you would think everybody would be in here for it, but everybody's too busy worrying about boxing.
Hmm.
This the problem. Everybody's too busy worrying about that, but they can have that. I told you over here we're gonna get back to having some fun. You know what I mean? It's what I got to 11:15. It's 11:11. But oh, it's 11:12. 3 minutes. Cool. So underrated. What do you are you will you be live for New Year's? Not New Year's Day, but like New Year's Eve. You plan on doing
I don't
anything
know
next
yet.
year?
I really don't know yet.
Um,
I don't know yet.
I'm probably gonna do a video. I'm probably gonna do a video the 30th, and that's probably gonna be my last one in the year. I don't even know if I'm gonna come back the 31st and do a video. I might get up on January 1st and do something. I'm not uh, I'm not quite sure. Because like I said, you want to talk about stuff, but you got people who are so into what's going on right now, what's popular in the world, not just with boxing, but with drama.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
drama. It's the same fighters they want to talk about. If it ain't the same fighters, it's what's going on with the same old people that I always mention, and it's like it's sad. And being a part of conversations like this, when we talk about the legendary movie, you would think would be important to people. No, you would think it'd
Yeah.
be important, and it's not important. But you put a title up here, this person versus this person. Let's talk about it. They start they start coming out. They start coming out the woods.
Yeah.
When you put their 2 cents in the conversations, you put this type of topic up, A B Street, and everybody's like, diddy diddy. What the hell is a B Street? Who wants to talk about that? Oh, I didn't know today was their 40th anniversary. But it's it's cool. It is what it is, man. I don't trip. My thing, and my New Year's resolution, I had it for months now, was to go in doing my own thing, follow my own path, helping my channel grow, focusing on my channel because we're not gonna grow if we're not putting no focus into what it is that we do. We're not gonna get anywhere. It'll just be a waste of time. And just continue to network and to build with people. I went to an event today in Harlem. It was a great event. You know what I'm saying? It was a great event and it was worth me going. And I enjoyed myself. And I'm looking to get with a few people and do more. You know what I'm saying? So it's For the most part, man, it is what it is. I probably won't be let me see. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. I doubt it. So I probably won't be live again until Monday. Monday I will be continuing for what we did yesterday, which looking back at looking back at 2024, the fights. Friday I was doing it, but then it didn't last long, so I'm gonna come back Monday. Come back Monday morning,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna do it all over again. And then after that, respectfully, I'm not talking about no more 2024 fights.
Uh,
That's gonna be it because now it's time to focus on 2025 fights. I got a couple amateurs I need to work on getting, so I got some things I'm gonna be trying to put together. Start my year off fresh. The underrated. I'm gonna get up out of here, brother, man. I love you, man. Love Coco Tina. I'm gonna call y'all two tomorrow, and well, we all gonna chop it up.
all right.
All right, later, bro.
Peace.
All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody who came and rock with me. I appreciate it all, y'all. I'm gonna get up off here. I already got my time in. You know what I mean? I got my 2 hours in, so I'm good. I'll get up out of here, go chill with my beautiful queen. Um, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Like I said, B Street was iconic. It was everything. It was a part of our household just as much as it was the community. I'll be back up here Monday, y'all. I can't say if I'll be back here tomorrow. I seriously doubt that. But I am trying to get my numbers up, trying to get more watch time as much as I can, and continue just to bring New Year in on my grind, all the time. So, help support the channel, you know what I mean? Drop a dollar or two in the Cash App. Like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is where it goes down at No Duck Zone Podcast. All right. You know what I mean? So all of y'all have a blessed, safe night. And everybody get the way they going safe. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Duck Zone Podcast. Let's go.